Vigilante Justice on Serial Rapist 1959. Warning, some audiences may find this content disturbing. View at your own discretion. Welcome to the House of Reddit. Today, we share some juicy r/nuclear revenge stories posted on Reddit. Vigilante Justice on Serial Rapist 1959. So when I got out of the Navy in 1958, like many young men, I joined a fraternity. Now most of the brothers were nice people except this asshole we'll call Brad. Brad was a 4-time legacy from our fraternity. At first, he seemed nice, but after he became a fully initiated member he let his inner ass show. He was such an ass because he would always show off with daddy's money. He was 18 and never had a job. He always got super drunk at the parties and got handsy with other people's girlfriends. Now his dad was a political figure in Sacramento, and his mother's father worked in the California system of higher education. Brad knew that he was untouchable and wasn't afraid to let you know. Brad in 1959 crashed 3 cars because he drove drunk. His parents bought a new Cadillac each time because he claimed someone stole and crashed his. When his parent bought him a Buick convertible, he said that he has a reputation to uphold and doesn't want people to think that he is poor. A couple of months into the fall semester and Brad is drunkenly harassing women at the party, even saying lewd and suggestive things to them. We try to cut him off but he keeps going on. Some of us go and leave Brad to himself. Hours later we see a girl leaving Brad's room. I'm thinking in my head she doesn't want to be seen taking the walk of shame. She just cries while covering her face and holding her shoes. I knock on Brad's door and he says, "Ready for round 2. Get your ass on the bed." When he sees that it is me he put his clothes on. I ask why that girl was crying and he said, "How the fuck should I know? But she was blonde. Tan? Tight." I ignore him but I tell the other brother what happened. They know that he is a pig and just brushed it off. A couple of days later police came to our house and arrested Brad for rape. Apparently, they were watching him because 13 other girls were accusing him. Now Brad had this birthmark on his private parts. So the statements from the girls were taken into account and he was arrested. The evidence was undeniable, especially with the details that the girls were giving regarding Brad. Due to him being a sexual predator he was expelled from the chapter. Without him knowing, important later, so we and one of the sororities on campus started a support group for the victims. Girl 1 was saying how Brad made her feel and that she wanted to get back at him. Girl 2 was talking about if she had the chance she would kick his ass. So one of our brothers, who we'll call Ralph, said, "Ralph, well, why don't you?" Girls, what? Ralph, when he comes back to the house we can take him somewhere and you can have some time with him. In the desert alone. So mere days after Brad was arrested he was bailed out the help from mommy and daddy, and he came back to the house. We started lying saying how we know that the charges were BS. He said, "Brad, yeah, my dad has a whole team of lawyers representing me, this is going to go away fast." Brad gets drunk but Ralph roofied him. Ralph and some of the other guys proceed to drive 3 hours east from the coast into the California desert. Ralph and some of the other guys meet the 9 of the 13 girls in the desert. They wake up Brad, who is still somewhat drunk, and push him out of the car. Now as Brad wakes up I was told that he went pale-face as he saw the women that he victimized were standing over him with blunt objects, stabbing weapons, and a shovel. Brad cries out to Ralph and the other guys. Brad, sniffling, "You can't leave me here alone." Ralph, "You aren't alone, you have plenty of company, and you know everybody there." The guys drove off and the girls came back to campus 3 hours later. With dirt on their clothes, and a red-stained potato sack. Us guys never knew what became of Brad. But to this day when we see the remaining girls that are living, we never ask. Poss man terrorizes town to the point where someone decides to take justice into their own hands. Hi Reddit, this is my first time posting something, so sorry for formatting. Using my mobile, this is not my story but something I watched on YouTube about. For those interested, it's BuzzFeed Unsolved. I'll try to post the link if I can. Also sorry about it being so long, I tried to minimize as much as I could while painting a good picture. This is a story about Ken Rex McElroy, but before I start you need to know a bit of backstory about him so you can see how much of a poss he is. Backstory: this happened in Skidmore, Missouri in 1981. McElroy was injured at a construction site he was working at. He had sustained a head injury that was said to maybe be the cause of his behavior, He was indicted 21 times but escaped conviction each time, except the last. McElroy would intimidate witnesses by parking his truck outside their house and watch them, sometimes would show his gun. He also bragged that his lawyer, who was said to be involved in the mob, would prevent him getting convicted. McElroy sexually assaulted 3 girls, 12 to 14, and would marry them to prevent them from testify against him. His third wife Trina McLeod once fled from McElroy to her parents' house. McElroy then burned the house down and shot their dog. He had 10 children from different women. His crimes would include assault, rape, arson, burglary and child molestation. One of McElroy's children tried to steal some candy but was caught by the owner 70-year-old Ernest Bowenkamp and his wife Lois. McElroy began stalking the Bowenkamp family and shot Ernest in the neck. He survived. McElroy was arrested and was convicted of assault, but was freed on bail pending his appeal. After being released, McElroy went to a local bar with a rifle with a bayonet attached and made graphic threats about what he would do to Bowenkamp. The revenge. While McElroy was at the local bar with Trina, his third wife, the townspeople met at the Legion Hall in the center of town to discuss how to protect themselves. About 60 people. After the meeting adjourned, the citizens decided to go to the bar and waited for McElroy to finish his drinks. When McElroy got to his truck and Trina being in the passenger seat, someone shot him multiple times with a rifle. Trina fled. No one but Trina called for help. Everyone was questioned by police but everyone denied seeing the shooter. Trina identified a man named Del Clement as the shooter but he was never charged. The police never made any arrests. A man that terrorized a town so much, and the police failed to bring to justice, having someone take justice into their own hands. We got a shitty teacher fired, blacklisted, and investigated by the police for child porn. In high school I had several classmates who were very well developed, and underage, 14 and the German teacher took notice. A lot of the girls got more attention from him. He would bend over their desks in such a way that he could sneak a peek, and he was just generally being a creep. One day we got some tests back and right away we noticed something odd. The chesty girls all got higher grades than the rest of us. Even the kid who was super good at German got a lower grade than them. I went to the principal with a few other classmates who were ticked off that our hard work wouldn't pay off and these girls got a free ride, and we were told, well, that's just life. They probably studied hard for this test. Spoiler alert, they didn't, and were pretty confused about their high grades. We began talking during another class and we noticed some trends. During the class quizzes, they got the easier questions. Their tests were graded more softly than the rest. And the part that weirded most of them out, he spent a lot more time close to them, to point something out in the textbook. These girls loved the easy grades but they were no sluts, and did not appreciate the teacher acting like a creep. So I gave them an idea: collect some statements, make a video of him helping another female student, and show it all to the principal. They happily complied, expecting the teacher to get a stern talking to from the principal/someone with authority. So they filmed the teacher blatantly staring at a girl's boobs during class, getting too close for comfort with another one, and making weird comments. When they showed the principal, he told them that he saw nothing wrong and to just focus on schoolwork. They were rightfully pissed off, and we talked it over with nearly the entire class because at this point we were all invested in this. And that's when I got a bright idea: we should all show that video to our parents, or post it on social media or something. The following week we were told the teacher was on sick leave, and a few weeks later the temporary replacement told us he was fired but wouldn't say what for. We had our suspicions though. It wasn't until after I graduated that I heard the full story from an ex-classmate who actually bothered to investigate it. The day after we blasted that video on social media, the school was bombarded with phone calls from parents asking why that teacher still has a job. If he's a pedophile, why they'd allow a pedophile to work there, etc. They were furious. The teacher was fired on the spot, and the police investigated him because of all the worried parents thinking he was a pedophile. I did not expect what they uncovered though. The guy actually possessed child porn. Like, little kids. At the time he was still awaiting trial. It had been postponed several times, and I have been unable to find info on his case, so I don't know what his sentence was. I've heard his wife divorced him as soon as she found out. So he lost his job, future, wife, and reputation all because he played favorites at school. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please let us know in the comments below. Turn on the notifications to know when we post new videos. Thank you for coming to the House of Reddit.